Good evening, everyone, or morning, or wherever you are at the time. I have a bedtime story for you today. It's going to put you dead to sleep, so make sure that you're in a comfortable position. If it's early in the morning, you may want to save it till this evening. Uh, it's about qualitative and quantitative analysis of data, and it involves my dissertation, which is quite exciting to me, but may or may not be to you, especially when we start reading out of it about how we gather data and put together kind of the answers that we found. First, let me just tell you a little bit about the study. It was a comparison of turnover rates for novice, as defined by first and second year teachers, between Wake County and Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools to see if there were anything that the districts were doing that made for such a big difference. Wake County typically retains many more of its novice teachers than does Charlotte-Mecklenburg for a whole lot of reasons, some of which we couldn't touch in on this report. But let me just tell you the research questions. How did CMS and WCPSS differ in the administrative support provided novice teachers in the four identified areas identified in the literature as most important? It's behavior management, paperwork, interruptions, and material acquisition. So what we did was do a literature review, find that those were the things that turned up in the literature as the reason that first and second year teachers say goodbye most often. Second research question, what were the perceptions of novice teachers in these two districts regarding the administrative support, behavior management, paperwork, interruptions, and material acquisitions they received in each district? Also, what were the perceptions of building administrators in these two districts regarding the support they provided in those areas? What were the perceptions of district administrators in the two districts regarding the support provided in those areas? And did the perceptions of administrators, and that's a little easy for me to say, did the perceptions of administrative support in each of the four areas identified differ between novice teachers, building administrators, and district administrators within and between the two districts? If so, how and which of the four specific areas of administrative support under study? Remember, those were behavior management, paperwork, interruptions, and material acquisition. The four things found the most in the literature that most contributed to novice teacher dissatisfaction. So we did all the permission, we did all the things that you learned about in your IRB study through CITI. And then we went to choose schools. We had to choose schools that were similar in year-round, 9-month school schedules. We didn't use any of the Wake County year-round schools. Didn't use partial magnets or anything else so that there were no factors involved with special school programs. Let's see. We had to stick within free or reduced lunch capacities, or numbers, which made a big difference because Charlotte-Mecklenburg ranged anywhere from 1% to 99% free and reduced lunch. Wake County held all theirs under 55, so we had to choose from Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools that were under 55% free and reduced lunch at the time. This, by the way, was 2004, so it's a little bit old now. Okay, so then we sent packets with questionnaires that used actually the Charlotte-Mecklenburg interview that they do with people when they leave. For this reason, this reason, this reason. And we gathered quantitative data using those questionnaires. Quantitative data from the district administrator, quantitative data from the school administrators, and quantitative data from these novice teachers. And those are just numbers. 50% left because of behavior issues, whatever they were. It doesn't really matter right now. We gathered additional data through qualitative methods, where we met first with small groups, focus groups they're called in qualitative research. Focus groups of teachers that had filled out the information. Using those same questions, we sat with those focus groups and generated more information. You get conversation going in a group that you can't get through a survey. And after following that, we identified some of those individuals to meet with further and even delve further into their feelings and perceptions of what they saw as being the answers to those 4 questions. And we came up with some interesting stuff. Like I said, we were limited by the free and reduced lunch populations of Charlotte-Mecklenburg, but we did find that things were pretty typical. Did find some information that suggested maybe novice teachers were expecting more from their principals or expecting a different reaction from their students than maybe is always the case. Anyway, I hope that was a lit illustrative of some of the things you can do with qualitative research to fill in the story behind the numbers. Hope it's of use. If it's only of use to putting you to sleep now, good night, Moon.